All right, so we are back with round 6. We are waiting to hear what exactly table number we're on. However, we do know for a fact that this is a win and in situation. Vince, longtime gamer, how often do you find yourself in these win and in positions?
Probably more than I would like. I'd like to be somebody who's drawing in, make my life a little bit easier. But being on the bubble is definitely a stressful scenario, and especially for our two players here. We don't have the names yet, so I don't know if we recognize any of the names, but it's a stressful round. It's a stressful round, and you're on stream.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of factors here that could play into someone making a silly mistake that they wouldn't ordinarily do.
Right. Yeah, it's difficult. Being on the bubble is never fun. Either you are really excited or you're really let down after the round. So it
can be it's like when you played ball as a kid or something, you take the team bus back after an away loss. It's a very, very long bus ride. It's the same thing if you're driving home after being on bubble and losing that round. It feels bad.
Right. All right. We still have no idea who these players are. So good luck to them as they're getting ready to play the game. But
well, it looks like we may have a repeat here because those sleeves look mighty familiar.
Oh, okay. So we're getting our Vulpix sleeves back? Is that what we have?
Yep. Yeah. Those have stood out. They've been the talk of the town this round.
Vulpix sleeves are familiar. Oh man. I can't remember his name. That's the worst part, is that we've been doing this all day. All I remember is Vulpix sleeves.
There's no excuse at this point.
All right, so we have Adam. Yeah, so it's Adam and Ryan. So Adam is I believe is our Vulpix sleeves, if I remember correctly now.
I think you're right.
And he is on the Amber Steel mid-range deck.
Gotcha. Let's see how this does this time around.
Well, he's one-on-one. He's 1-1 on stream already, so he's been around.
Yeah, so maybe the whole nerves thing, at this point, you already got it out of your system. He's ready to go.
Yeah, this is his third time on stream. That should be a non-factor at this point.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have this Amber Steel, and then our other player is Ryan. There are multiple Ryans, so give me a moment.
No problem. I mean, we have a little bit of time. Players are still sorting out their mulligans, getting the shuffles done, so no real rush.
All right, so Ryan is on Emerald Amethyst.
Amethyst.
Emerald Amethyst. All right. So it's I'd say like a mid-rangey control-ish thing going on. He's got Rafikis, he's got Zeus's, and then he has like the big, all the good 5 ofs.
Turn 1 Lilo coming out after a turn 1 pass.
So now, this deck, it does have Rafiki. So it has Rafikis, but like aside from that, it doesn't have a lot of great ways to deal with that card early. And tapping your Flynn to attack a Lilo is definitely not what you want to be utilizing Flynn for. But if we see the Zimba,
that's going to be even worse.
Right. Like if we see the Zimba come in here, it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be a very, very strong representation for this deck very early. So we just get double Lilo. That's fine. Right. Followed by
baby.
Okay.
All right, we're putting our foot on the gas.
Yeah, this is like Rafiki or fall so far behind in the game, it's going to be scary.
Yeah. So that's a quick quest for 2. Adam taking the early lead, obviously.
Yeah, Adam's up to 2. We're falling behind. We only have 2 Rafikis in the deck, so if we can't find them, it's going to be difficult.
Not knowing you need to mulligan for that Rafiki is kind of scary. Like this is game 1. You don't necessarily know that they're going to come out this aggressive.
Probably. This is round 6. You've been able to walk around the tables. You have an understanding of what people are playing. So hard to say, but we'll see. We have a Maleficent. We're just going to be behind here. He's going to be really eaten up here. He doesn't have AoE. We're going to move to 6 lore already with just our one cost characters. It's going to be really powerful.
Yeah, especially if, again, Simba's still a threat here that could serve those Lilos even further.
All right, so that's fine. So we're going to move all the way up to 6.
Yep.
We played our tank, and we're going to move forward with life and just continue this pressure. Because this is another situation where it's like, Maleficent can't sing, right? Like she has to challenge.
You cannot take a turn
Lilo.
off here.
Yeah, so you can't just let your opponent go to 11 like before they play a card on turn 4. So that's the real scary thing here is, he can't even utilize this Maleficent to the fullest. Do we have a Zeus? Do we have some fire?
I feel like if you had the Rafiki or Zeus, that comes down pretty quickly, right? Like you're just killing that right now.
All right, so we have a Jasper.
I mean, you're digging out of this hole, but it's still a pretty deep hole at this point. Or maybe not.
Oh, he befuddles. So he befuddles. So he bounces it back to his hand. That's very interesting. The thing about the befuddle, in all honesty, now granted, it saves you a time and for turn. So we get to kill and then just lure, I guess. We'll do 1 damage to Jasper and then we'll just lure for 2. Yeah, I guess that's fine. The interesting thing about Lilo here is that probably as long as we can get it on the table before turn 6 or 7, you're going to get another 2 lore out of that character. What just happened?
That there must have been a what's the wheel?
Did he play? Okay, I never saw it. That's all. Okay.
Yeah, it must be at the bottom of that stack.
Interesting.
A whole new world. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah. I never even saw the card, so that's why I got confused. Okay. All right. So.
Well, we saw this in earlier rounds. The players are trying to make sure they're not going to time. They're playing very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me because he was in pretty good position in the game. I feel like he could have waited.
I agree. I don't think that was necessary.
So now we just get Tink. I mean, I guess this isn't the worst thing ever. Like, you're cleared the board. You get to start your opening turn, with 4 resources and a full 8 cards.
Yeah, the wheel.
And your opponent has nothing. So that's good. It's not, it's not the worst thing ever. So this is what I've seen him. He's done this a few times throughout the day now. And I feel like if this is what we're utilizing Be Our Guest for, we're kind of struggling in general. Whereas with those 5 resources, I much would have rather just played 2 cards this turn. And then next turn,
you can see what's in hand, but I agree there has to be something to be played. Like, I don't.
Yeah. So I actually really dislike the bodyguard here. Your opponent has Rafiki. Your opponent has Zeus.
There's literally no reason to do that.
Yeah, I find very little reason to play bodyguard here.
Oh no!
Like, you might just offer up a play that you didn't even know you were doing, and we have it. Like, he has Zeus, or Rafiki. He has both of them. So
he's debating which is the more appropriate one.
Like, thank you for giving me a lure. Yeah, not a particular fan of that play.
Ouchtown population Simba, I guess. Hard cast friends.
That's another one. I guess it's okay if you're not doing anything else this turn, but you also could have just. I mean, I guess you can't rely on Rafiki being there against Seal, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah. So what's the follow up here? We're gonna get another Be Our Guest.
I guess that wheel was just not. That wheel was not kind to him.
No. But like you said earlier, I think it probably was unnecessary at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, in particular here, we picked up a Tinkerbell and a Rapunzel off of it, and we haven't played a single character, that we picked up. Like, that doesn't feel like it's something I would really want to be doing.
I mean, you have the Tinkerbell, you could just get it.
Right, like, you would have just got it next turn. So, like, you're kind of like really wasting resources. He's playing very fast here. He's not revealing his cards. He might be a little bit frustrated with the whole new world. It definitely didn't. It doesn't seem very good. In that turn, his turn was literally resource, Be Our Guest, get a card I couldn't play, and then fire the cannons. So not exactly
what you want to write home about.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one to walk away with. Despite
the explosive start, it's giving their opponent a whole lot of time to do whatever they want, to be perfectly honest.
That's why I really didn't like the wheel. You had a commanding position in the game. You could have just replayed several cards the following turn for Tink and just make your opponent have to have answers to what you were doing already, and instead you just refilled your opponent's 7 cards and you totally whiffed.
Right. And now your opponent has gotten first act. Well, you have the answer for the Hans, but they were able to play the first threat at this stage.
Right.
Third Lilo.
And obviously the Zimbo was also a rough loss for you.
Just discard a card. Pay 2 resources, discard a card.
All right, well, Lilo can't quest now, so she's useless. Or no, she has to challenge if able.
Correct.
So I guess she can't challenge, so it's fine.
Well, they can't quest and must challenge if able, so I think she can't do it either.
Okay. Yeah, which is bad. Like, the Lilo at this point is just not going to do anything because he gets the quest. Say the Lilo can't quest again.
Yep.
And if it challenges, it has to run into something. I guess you could force the Tinkerbell into trading with John Silver.
Right.
But, neither here nor there. Because now this Tinkerbell is definitely going to run into the John Silver, finish off Archimedes, and then Lilo gets to live, fortunately.
Do we have any follow-up after this? I don't. It's still a lot of cards. There's a ton of options available, not necessarily right this second, but in general.
He did get on the board with the John Silver. John Silver's
a 2-lord?
Yeah, he's 2-lord.
He's 2.
Haven't seen a whole lot of him today. So that was an inked befuddle. To follow up with a Cusco?
Cusco. All right, so there's a lot of pressure on the board.
I thought he only had 4 there. Oh, he does 5. Okay. The white are blending in very well.
Yes.
So we still have a million cards, right? I mean, like, a Grab Your Swords here isn't the worst card ever.
Yeah, it actually clears a significant number of things.
Oof.
Is that a third Be Our Guest?
Our third Be Our Guest that we hardcast it. So what are we finding? We find Rapunzel. So I'm okay with this because, like, our Tinkerbell gets to attack John Silver, take 4, and then I get to Rapunzel, remove 3, and draw 3 cards.
Right.
That's about the most exciting
Rapunzel,
thing.
Correct?
What?
That's the second Rapunzel, correct?
Yeah, he has 2 of them, yeah. But this is definitely the most... Now,
wait.
Sure. Oh, no, I didn't like that at all.
No, I'm with you.
Not when I can draw 3 cards and put another 2-lord character in play. Definitely not a fan of that particular play there.
Could have killed the Maleficent if you really wanted to anyway.
Right. Like, I guess he's going to do this anyway, and he's going to get rid of Archimedes. I believe that is alive. Oh, no, it's 5 power. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's why. So he didn't get the trade. I'm sorry. I messed up on the numbers there.
Okay.
But the smash still feels unnecessary. In all honesty, the John Silver had 1. I would have rather ran the Lilo into it with the smash rather than running the Tinkerbell into it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Lilo is not really. It's not applying enough pressure at this board. It's not going to apply enough pressure.
We get to 5. So now we have 6. Adam's at 6. Ryan's at 5. But he's representing a lot of lore. And we get
Is Rockstar going to dig you out of this hole?
So Leo goes to 7. It depends on how many cards in his hand. I mean, obviously, he could have 3 or 4 1 or 2 cost cards.
Yeah, just flood the board.
But we know he has multiple Rapunzels. The good news is that, well, actually, not even that good news. The Stitch can't trade really that well. That was a pretty good draw there. And the worst part is the Stitch can't even get value from doing damage to that. So it's not like you can put damage on and then Rapunzel. So I'm going to say he can't quest there with Jasper. And he's going to gain a fair amount of lore here. What's that? 6 lore he just gains. So he goes to 11, I believe.
That's a lot. Yeah, 11 is.
And then he follows up with another draw.
And obviously Jasper's targeting the Stitch. So the big question now is, where are you sending it? Just presumably you're sending it.
This is another Sing. Is this a... Oh, we are attacking. So we're attacking a Jasper, is my guess. I don't know. Maybe he might have to attack Cusco. Okay. So he puts 2 on. what's he gonna do? So the problem now is we can't play grab your sword. So since we can't play grab your sword, I think we just lose the game. Because we have what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lore. That's the game, right? Like he's just on 11
or 5. Yeah, they're counting it up right now.
Yeah, he just turns it sideways and wins the game. Yeah,
and that's the ball game, folks.
Yeah, that is the second time today that a whole new world has absolutely costed him a matchup or a game.
There were, I mean, aside from the whole new world, there were at least a couple of other things that seemed, we'll call it questionable through the course of that game.
Yeah, the Zimba for bodyguard there was just no reason for it. Offering it up to even giving your opponent the opportunity to utilize their rush character, knowing that they're a rush deck, is just not something that we, that's a lesson learned that hopefully we don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, you definitely need to internalize that one, because otherwise it's going to be a very painful lesson to relearn.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting choice. But I guess my problem again is like he was ahead in the game and he was, in good position, and the whole new world just felt so very unnecessary. And then obviously he very much whiffed, which did not help at all.
Absolutely.
Like even in a world where I guess I don't know how many BR guests were in his opening hand, but it would have been at least 7 cards away, so you wouldn't have been doing it. It just feels like this deck can't afford to take that many turns off and just not do anything. I mean, after the whole new world, he just had no follow-up.
Absolutely.
At all.
It was just stunning that, I don't know. We were talking about this offline, but it would be nice to interview the players, speak to them and say, okay, well, what was the line that you were thinking of here? Because obviously these players aren't just, slinging it for the hell of it. They're doing it because, okay, I'm going to do this and then follow up with the expectation that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I'm just not seeing exactly what that X, Y, and Z is from here.
Yeah, it was just a tough one. But we assume he's on the play again and see if we get more early Lilos.
Now, we mentioned it in the first game, but presumably our Emerald Amethyst player now is hard mulliganing for some of those Rafikis, some of those Zeuses, to try and combat the early aggression or the potential early aggression.
I wonder why, I guess in particular, the hook over the Stitch.
I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay.
I really don't.
But like the Stitch trades with that Archimedes and the hook doesn't, so it feels bad. All right, well, goodbye, dog Stitch again.
Stitch.
Yeah, this might just be a... Okay, there's Lilo.
Oh, we're going for it. +1 lore. Third Stitch. Fair enough.
3 stitches it's a lot of stitches.
So I assume our Amber Steel player is thinking, I just have to get there early on.
He just has to survive. And this is exactly how you're going to do it. He's going to make these favorable trades. He gets up on card advantage right there. The Cruella even representing as a 1/3 that can, if he wants to, just
going to eat the Lilo.
Just eat Lilo and still have 2 willpower left over. It's not nothing. We're getting rid of the chicken. Hey in the ink.
All right, Simba coming down and actually wait.
Did we not bodyguard this time?
Oh,
okay. All right. His opponent
they probably said it and just didn't exert it. Is what happened. But we did end up getting a 3 lore gain there.
But even here, like if we just have Rafiki, right? Do we have Rafiki?
Yeah,
we do. So we just clear the board.
Wow.
Like, just flat out clear the board. Go home happy. And yeah, just move on with life. It's a pretty good turn.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty clean textbook showing here.
Sadly, this is looking at the game that like I'm gonna need a whole new world to do something.
Right.
But we have a BR guest again. This is never good in all honesty. Like,
oh no, yeah, we saw this last game. If you're taking time off doing this, especially getting something that you're not going to be able to play for a couple turns.
Now, granted, his opponent's not pressuring. His opponent has 2 lore. It's not like he has 5 lore.
True.
So there is time in the game to do it and come back. It's just the ability that, like, on this turn, playing a 4-cost card that had 2 lore would have put you in a better position in the game.
Yeah, some way to actually interact with your opponent, if nothing else.
Right, because now we have this 3/3 that represents 3 lore, and all of a sudden, my 2 lore clock got turned to a 5 lore clock, and you don't have, you have smash and things like that. But if you're smashing, that means you're not.
You're also not developing a board.
Right, you're not developing your board whatsoever.
Another Lilo. Not exactly the board you want to develop. Wait, really? Lilo pass?
I think he only has 1 or 2 cards in his hand.
Yeah, I agree.
So
we're at 4-2 at the moment.
Yeah,
we're just sending.
So we just go to 5. We go up to 7, right?
Yep.
And we're representing 8 more next turn.
You have like maybe a 1-turn window. Oh, there was a second tank. Okay. It's at least something.
I mean, so Ryan has 5. Now
they missed the damage there. What's happening?
Yeah. So now Adam has 6. So it's a tight game, but like Ryan has a 2/4 with Lore and a 3/3. They all have damage on them, obviously.
Yeah.
And I guess the good thing here is that Tink can. Oof, that's pretty good. Tink can effectively remove Kuzco and Hans next turn by herself. I think I'm okay with that trade.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Get to 5, so we're going to go to 12 here. Or 13? Oh, it's 6. I'm sorry, it was 6. So yeah, so it goes to 13. And then he just has John Silver, so...
Right.
Now, granted, again, the Tink is going to be able to run into Kuzco and get rid of Hans, which is great, but he still has a John Silver left behind now. So the Kuzco no Chachi is missed.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was waiting to see if they...
Yep. So no Touchy was missed here.
That's kind of a big deal.
For what it's worth, it is you May. So
it's a May. Oh no.
For what it's worth,
not like
it is you May. So I will give it there.
That's a May ability. Yeah, that is a legal game state.
But it is legitimately a miss for sure by Ryan. So he goes to 15. Or no, he doesn't. Sorry, he stays at 13. He gets rid of Tinkerbell, and then says the Rapunzel can't quest and has a challenge. So that's good.
Right.
Oh, I think they're maybe trying to go back to the no touchy trade. Again, it's really tough. It's hard to say. It is a Yume ability, so at this point, we're so far ahead that resetting feels wrong. In all honesty, which I think is what they got. They got around it. So this Rapunzel has to attack into this John Silver, which feels bad because she's just going to go away.
Admittedly, the John Silver will as well.
Yeah.
It's the silver lining.
All right. Okay. So that's one way around it. So he gets the grab your sword, puts 2 on the Koost. And then now he can't quest, right? John Silver is.
I'm looking at it right now. Gain reckless.
It gains reckless. So that card is not allowed to quest. So he should not be able to gain the 2 lore there. So then Kuzco is going to send it. He goes up to 16, I believe, and now he just represents win on board unless we have a way to get rid of this Kuzco.
Yep. Which there are options, but
Tinkerbell is not one of them.
That would be correct.
Oh no, Tinkerbell is one of them. So Tinkerbell is fine because then the Rapunzel runs into Kuzco.
Oh, true.
But now here again, so
at the top there.
This time we do get the trigger, so Kuzco removes a Rapunzel. But now we just have this gigantic Giant Silver that is going to get us to 18 at the very least. It's going to keep Tink's going to have to run into it, or we'll just Genie. That's fine too.
That seems good.
Yep. So we'll just go up to 18 and then represent the win right there. I don't think there's anything that we can play to get out of that one.
No, not without, I don't know, 6 more resources maybe.
Yeah. Are we going to whole new world again?
Why not?
I mean, I guess if he has grab your sword, no. Like grab your sword and some nope. He just can't do it. He's just too low.
That's honestly like double swords was what I was thinking if they had a ton of more resources, but yeah, it's just not. Oh,
right, but he's on 18, so the game is still over because Genie is just too low.
Exactly.
Okay.
GG.
Tough one. So congrats to Ryan. He definitely just made top 8
for sure,
which is great. I believe his name is Ryan Link. So congrats to Ryan Link. Some of the other players that we are pretty sure are, well, 4 of which we know are in top 8 are Jonathan Ball, Joseph Trueblood, Sam Cahill, and Brooks Clark. I believe we saw all of them on stream except for maybe Sam Cahill. I don't know if we saw Sam Cahill. He might have been one of the earlier rounds, and I forget. But so
I believe there was a Sam at one point, but I could be wrong.
So I can take a look. Ready? Let's take a gander here at some of the top 8 decks. So
we know one of them is going to be green, purple, or more appropriately, emerald, amethyst, mid-range.
Emerald mid-range is a definite. We need Ball and Trueblood. So Ball playing. We have so Ball is a Ruby Amethyst.
Okay. We didn't see those on stream, but we know they were running around.
We didn't see them on stream. We know they were the most played deck in the event. One of them is in top 8. No surprise to me.
All right. So that's 2 down.
We have Joseph Trueblood.
We did see on stream.
Trueblood was on stream. I do not recall what he was playing, so we'll take a quick look. He was playing. Come on, internet. He was the lemon lime aggro deck.
Okay.
So so we have a lemon lime. We have a
all you aggro enthusiasts out there have a champion for yourselves.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna just leave all these open so I can find them all later.
It's a good idea.
And then we have Sam Cahill, who is playing. Looks like Amber Amethyst.
Yep.
Amber Amethyst. Lots of foils in that deck.
I think that's the one we saw on stream because there are Mr. Smees in that build.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's our guy.
Brooks Clark, which was Steel Amethyst. So, yeah. So, my 4 that we just had were Amethyst Emerald, Ruby Amethyst Control, Lemon Lime Aggro, the Amber Amethyst Tempo, and Steel Amethyst Control. So yeah, that's 5. We'll know the rest soon.
Right.
But that's definitely 5 of them. When we have the rest of the
initial thoughts after we saw, I mean, we were talking earlier that there was a lot of Amethyst running around, that we just happened to see a lot of it on stream. But does anything surprise you out of the list that we know right now?
And we talked about a little bit, I think the Mr. Smees are great. I think they're eye-opening, in all honesty. I think that's a card that people were not at all considering putting in their decks.
Yes. There are very few people who had Mr. Smee cross their mind in a serious manner.
So when you have a deck that shows up and is in top 8 and has the card, it'll at very least get looks at other places now. So I think that's a definite big takeaway from Sam. The other decks are, they're pretty normal, like nothing too crazy that sticks out to me. The Ruby Amethyst deck that we did not see on camera at all is it's, for what it's worth, it's different than some of the decks that I've covered so far. In particular, this one has BLTs. So that's a card that's interesting. Like kind of fallen off a little bit. So it's interesting to see that card in decks. And then it has a Cauldron and a Shield, which is cool. Cauldron's another one that like is always floating in and out of different decks. This is the first one that I've seen that has a Jafar Keeper of Secrets, which is another card, in all honesty, today that I think was highly played.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And we've seen it a bunch on stream. So it's cool to see another card like that definitely get some love. So what about you? Anything catch you off guard?
Well, I wanted to ask you a question about it. There's a ping coming through, by the way. We didn't see, or did you say that there were green-red evasive decks that made it out of what we know so far?
I didn't say that there was one that made it, but there were a bunch of them in there. So we have the graphic for the total breakdown. So the total breakdown is as such. It is Ruby Amethyst coming in at 8, Ruby Emerald coming in with 6 decks, Amber Emerald with 5, Amethyst Steel with 5, Amber Amethyst with 4, Emerald Amethyst Aggro with 3, Emerald Amethyst Mid-Range with 3, Emerald Steel with 2, and then the other remaining were 11 other remaining decks. So
there were a lot of others. There were a smattering of things across the board.
Yeah. I do like that there was like specifically Emerald Amethyst twice for 2 different reasons.
Yes.
Which is interesting. So it looks to me here, Ruby or maybe Amethyst. It looks like Amethyst might be the king here. Emerald potentially, actually. So what we got? We have 11, 15, 18, like a bunch of, it's actually pretty even, I guess, in all honesty. They're probably about 20 of each, anywhere between 18 and 22, I'd say, of each color, which is good, right? And no absolute color dominance that you're seeing in the game early. Even the top 8 was 5 different decks already. So that's very different than from last weekend, where last weekend's reports were 6 of the same deck in top 8. So that's definitely cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting as we're leading into the actual top 8. I know there's some other stuff going on as we're talking about the different lists. I'm a little surprised that there weren't. Well, we know the one Ruby Amethyst made it,
right?
But I think everybody was expecting it would be like 4 of 8. Maybe not everybody, but I feel like that was a not uncommon.
I mean, I just look at it like, last week, first weekend of the year, first week of, competitive play, basically kicking off down in Tennessee with the 1K event, and the talk of the town was Ruby Amethyst. So it was either A, I'm going to play Ruby Amethyst, or I'm not. But I think the represented number was there was 9 players that played Ruby Amethyst, and 6 of them made top 8 of that event. So in this event already, we just said that there was 8 players that had it, and only one of them are currently in the top 8 that we can confirm. So definitely a big difference, which is good. I think across the board, that's a good thing. It shows a lot of growth. Having 5 different decks in general is great. Lots to break down and talk about, once we can reveal the deck list and everything.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people, especially in chat, very, very eager, we'll say, to take a peek at those deck lists, but gotta wait. Gotta be a little more patient. We'll get there. We'll
definitely have them out, I promise. As soon as we're allowed to. That's the real truth.
Exactly.
But for now, we're gonna take a little bit of break. We're gonna be back with the top 8 cut. There is currently 16 minutes left in round. So I'll tell you what, we'll wait. Vince, let's just break it down a little bit here. So we had this. Do you want to do that? Okay. I'm getting some reports of a special announcement that might have to go through here.
Little excitement at the end.
I'll get a little bit of drum roll going in chat because it's a lot of fun. It's a very exciting piece of information. So I'm going to kick it, and I'll catch you guys after the roll. All right. So as you can see, Miami PPG at Miami TCG Con. Just prizes are announced. It's phenomenal. First place is 2 cases. Second place is another case. Third and fourth, 2 boxes. Fifth through eighth is a trove. 9 through 16 is getting a gift set. And 17 through 32 are getting 3 packs. That is, oh man, we got to do math again. What do we got? We got to do math again.
It's a big number. It's a lot of cards. Let's put it that way. Like an enormous, not just a lot, but like an enormous amount of stuff.
So 4 cases plus, right? That's what I'm reading there. Like,
seems about right.
That's right now, if you ask how much a case of cards is, you'd hear a couple $1,000s
for sure.
So this is pretty phenomenal information being released. It's really nice to see this amount of product going out. It also is really, really fun because Miami was already set to be a really nice destination event to pick up and see artists. Lots of different creators are coming, to be there and have a lot of fun that way. But now we know that we have something huge to play for. I mean, this prizing is phenomenal.
It absolutely is. And I think you said it right there at the end of your statement that something, it builds the hype. It's this huge thing to look forward to. It's like being a kid and looking forward to Christmas. Like it now, even if you were excited before, now there's even more layered on top. Right. All of these other things that are available, all the potential that's there.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be an incredible event. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I'm very much excited to be there in person and enjoying all of this with the community. This is the type of event that honestly, even a month ago, we didn't know we were going to be able to have or that they were going to even exist. So to come out and see this amount of product being offered at a destination city in Miami, at a destination event for a con that was already in the works for literal 6 months now.
Yep.
I think this is phenomenal. I'm very excited about it, and I'm really happy to be a part of all of it.
Yeah, I see people in chat already very excited. I've seen a number of people asking, where can I get registered, already ready to go. And I don't blame you.
I would expect very, very soon to see those postings from George and the rest of the PPG team. I'm confident they're going to be there. I also...
Yep. Okay, registration link is in fact in chat as we speak.
There you go. Registration link is in chat. Shout
out to production.
Yeah, shout out to production. The this event in Denver was only 64 registered players. I can tell you for sure that it is well above that number for Miami. But if you're planning on going to Miami, get pre-registered, get signed up for the event. I can't wait to see you. I will absolutely be there in person. Along with Scott and some of the others. So I'm very, very excited. Vince, when I first saw the graphic, and I had just kind of taken in the math of even just the top 8, and we're not even considering going past that at that point. It was just like, wow, that's a lot of product. In a day and age where product is scarce and it's hard to find, the ability for PPG to even, have that to give out as a prize is pretty awesome.
It's a staggering amount of product, like you said, especially in this day and age, the way things work right now, trying to either get sealed product or even in some cases singles. We're all seeing that, and we talked about it through the event, where the scarcity of product and cards was potentially going to play in.
Yeah.
This is a huge shot in the arm for somebody's collection if you're able to take this down or even place. Like this is... I want to say like holy grail kind of things, but like this is a big deal playing for this amount of stuff.
Right. And even, listen, at the end of the day, top 32 is getting prizes, that's something you also don't see every day. So when you're announcing something like that, like, hey, if you have a winning record, most likely most players with a winning record will at the very least get 3 packs.
Exactly.
Which I think is really, really cool.
I think one of the other things that I don't want people to brush aside, given the overwhelming amount of prizes, is that one of the things that will be brought in is a higher, it's going to improve the level of competition. People are going to show up. They're going to bring their best game, their best builds. And that is a huge part of the fun, showing up and actually testing your skills against people that are to be honest, they're going to be trying. They're not just showing up to their locals and having some fun. They're playing for real.
Well, even in like even this weekend, only being 2 weeks from release, 1 day from big box stores getting it, even though that's not even very true.
That's another conversation in and of itself.
Even this event, you could have seen some decisions being made around a budget or being restricted. I will. Being restricted from the collection, all those things. Like we have 7 weeks to this event. So it's 7 weeks to leading up to this event. You have all the time that you're going to need to acquire the cards that you want to play in that deck. And Absolutely. Then the crazy thing about it is although it's at Miami TCG Con, this event does not require a badge either.
That's actually pretty wild and very notable to bring up, that you don't need a badge for the event.
Right. And it's a big deal. It is a big deal. Like now for the players that want to come to the event and get their cards signed by artists, you will be required to have a badge. But if you're not about that, if that's not, your priority or anything like that, you can come, you can play, enter the game room, no badge required, which I think is just, it's an additional cost for players. For here at the con today, players had to spend $35, $45 extra just to get in the convention so they could play in the tournament. That is not the case for Miami.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a big deal. It is a destination event, and justifiably so. But on the flip side of it, I can understand people. It's going to be a big trip. So any little bit helps there. And having the option to not have that additional cost on there, definitely thumbs up there.
Yeah, I've definitely been hyping it up a little bit. I hope the announcement lived up to the hype that I was putting on it, because I was overwhelmed by it, and I'm just so excited.
If you're not excited about this after seeing that, do you have a pulse? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Are you with us right now? Because this is exciting.
It's going to be an exciting event. It's going to be a great time. Miami's a great city in October. Lots of good reasons to show up to Miami and compete for some incredible, incredible prizes.
Absolutely. This is very exciting. Everybody in the Lorcana community has something huge to look forward to, but that time is going to go quick.
Yeah.
It was 7 weeks from now. That's going to go faster than people think.
Exactly. Definitely start planning your trips. If you were on the fence at all, I hope this took you over the fence and you're ready and you're already looking for flight tickets. That's what my hope is.
Yeah. I'm with you, Dan. It's good.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just agreeing with you because this is, I'm broken recording at this point that it's so exciting. And shout out to PBG for putting this together, getting everything up and running, the incredible prize support. Shout out to everybody today. We're not done for the day, of course, but I want to get
these in. It's coming
to get those in.
I love it. So with that, there is under 7 minutes left in the final round, and then we will be back for the top 8. See you after.